Our first hologram of the day comes from our good friend Matthew. He says, what are your current, he knows us, he knew he had to put the word current in there, personal power rankings, best and or favorite of the Star Wars movies? Why don't you go first here? Give us your 1 through 10. Obviously, Rise of Skywalker coming out this December. That'll give us number 11, at which point we reserve the right to reassess.
Absolutely.
But right now, this moment in time,
I'm having some issues in my 3, 4, 2, but we'll get to that.
This is like really hard.
It's hard. These are my favorites.
Okay.
Empire.
Okay. Empire number 1.
Empire
Why?
number 1 for all the reasons that everybody's always talked about. Right. It's incredible. It's dark. It really deepens your knowledge of the characters. Han is awesome in it. You're coming off what felt like a shattering victory for the rebellion, and then all of a sudden, Lucas and company just reset, and the rebellion is on its heels, and it feels really natural, and it just ups the stakes. You know, that's really hard to do, to come off of like an incredible victory and then all of a sudden be like, and now the rebels are running for their lives across the galaxy. I thought that was great. Downer ending. I can't imagine what it would have been like at the end. Like, I can't imagine what it would have been like in the theater at that time.
To experience it
to
live.
be like whoever the people were that saw that at the time and be like,
God.
Wait, what?
I know. It must be incredible.
Like that, it must have been mind-blowing. So it's like, that's number 1. Because it's like, honestly, one of the greatest reveals in movie history.
In history, yeah.
We take it for granted now, but it must have been.
You're right.
It must have been earth-shattering.
You're totally right.
And then no internet. You just have to deal with that knowledge for like 3 years or whatever it was until the next movie. Wait a second.
You don't even get to watch the Red Wedding videos on YouTube for
you
catharsis.
You just have to stew with your thoughts.
Okay, good
80s.
explanation for number 1. So number 2, you're saying Rogue One.
I love Rogue One.
Walk us through it.
I just think, so
Can
much.
I reveal to the listeners that you're pivoting live here?
I am pivoting live.
From what you had sketched out?
I originally went A New Hope, so I went best. So I had Empire, A New Hope. And now, like, honestly, we just got, so to let people behind the curtain, we've just been doing our Rogue One, prep for our Rogue One pod. I just love that movie. I think
it's fucking great.
I think it's really, really good.
It's
like,
great.
really good. Like, obviously, all the movies have something going for them, but I think when, in the future, when future historians want to pluck a piece of popular culture out of the ether to say, this says something about the times it was created in, I think Rogue One is going to be one of those movies.
Interesting.
Because and I wrote about this for TheRinger.com, a great website at the time when it came out, the way it repurposes the kind of like iconography of victory and defeat and war and ascribes those characteristics to each side, I think is really fascinating. You know, it's like, who are our good guys? They're these like freedom fighters with names like Saw Gerrera that absolutely are references to like Che Guevara and these kind of, and like these like scrappy guerrilla, some would say terroristic fighters. They're struggling against a empire with weapons of mass destruction that's carrying out a brutal occupation of a holy city in the desert named Jeddah. All this is fascinating to me, and it's a great movie. And it's beautiful to look at.
You haven't even mentioned your favorite Star Wars character of all time, Bo Gullet.
Bo Gullet. Lies. Deception. Oh, Bodhi Rook, hometown boy, huh? Forrest Whitaker just like off his tree, like completely in his bag, being like, I want to do Star Wars crossed with Blue Velvet. Like, it's just a really good movie. And it is like up there with it's so beautiful to look at. It's pretty movie. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Okay, so that's your number 2. What's your number 3?
Okay, so I jumped that up. Then I'm going to go A New Hope, then A Last Jedi.
Okay, so you're just moving A New Hope down.
I'm just moving
That's
it
to
down.
3.
Yeah,
Last Jedi 4.
Last Jedi 4. Return of the Jedi. I like endings. And like, I love when Luke shows up and starts force choking Jabba's guards. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Luke is good at the Force now. Holy cow. The Force Awakens.
Okay.
Revenge of the Sith.
So those are 6 and 7.
Yeah. Solo. And then it's like a tie, Attack of the Clones and The Phantom Menace. Those are just
tied for last.
Yes, they're right there. I mean, all the love interest stuff between Anakin and Padme is just very, very brutal. It's like some of the worst stuff that's ever happened.
Very tough stuff.
What do you got?
Okay, we have a similar list, but it's a little different. I want to reiterate the point about how Rise of Skywalker might change the rankings, specifically in light of what I have at number 1, which is The Last Jedi.
Sure, it's a great movie.
It's phenomenal. I'm like slightly terrified of saying that out loud and like all the mean petitioners coming after me, but I stand proudly behind the take. However,
I love The Last Jedi.
I do want to see how this trilogy concludes before I ultimately assess where Last Jedi and Force Awakens rank for me and how that all comes together.
What do you like about The Last Jedi? What do you love about it?
It's just fucking fabulous in almost every respect. Here are just a few, because we're going to talk about that one at length when we get there. Here are the few of the things I love about it, in no particular order. BB-8, legitimately one of my favorite characters in all of fiction.
He fucking crushes it. BB-8 absolutely crushes it.
The hero of that movie, I adore him.
Also, great design, the spherical design. Like,
wonderful.
why haven't we been doing this all
Wonderful.
The time? He can is so mobile.
Incredible stuff. I could watch 800 uninterrupted hours of Kylo and Rey force timing and absolutely never tire of it. Never. I love the emo Kylo energy. I just think it's fabulous. Yeah. The actual action and battle sequences in this film, the throne room sequence.
It's one of the greatest action scenes in the last 5 years.
Holdo's sacrifice, the battle down on Crate with the salt layer popping up to reveal the pop of the color of the minerals below. The visuals of that film, the sounds of it, it is just mesmerizing to watch. But ultimately, the real answer to the question more than any of those things, I love the themes of the story. Yeah. I love that kill the past idea that Kylo voices for us and Luke in particular in that film really represents. I find the subversive elements of the story to be not only not some sort of affront to Star Wars fandom, but really an affirmation, if we can all be open-minded about it, that the ideals that The Last Jedi elevates are sacred ones that fantasy lovers and sci-fi lovers should hold dear.
I could not agree more with that particular point.
Yes.
It's not just like interesting and intriguing. I actually think it's necessary.
I totally agree.
That for Luke in particular to call out the various mistakes that the Jedi made all throughout the series to date. I think that is important.
That manifests in a lot of different respects in the films, but the two main ones are Luke challenging and questioning the Jedi legacy, and then the question of Rey's parentage. Yeah. There are plenty of other things too, how Leia's force powers manifest, etc. But this idea that our heroes shouldn't actually just be these infallible people who are beyond any sort of reproach, that questioning and revealing the sins and the flaws is actually part of what makes people human and relatable.
Yeah.
Love it. It's just fabulous. Also, again, I just love Kylo and BB-8 so much. Number 2, The Empire Strikes Back, for all the reasons you mentioned. Just
it's great.
Unambiguously one of the best and most important films of all time. Stories of all time.
It's great.
Luke on Dagobah is just absolutely riveting hero's origin stuff, even though that is not his origin film, and New Hope is. That is some of the, I think, richest text for people who appreciate thinking about the hero's journey. And it's
also,
just
he invented CrossFit.
Incredible. Just an incredible amount of handsome Han Solo in that film.
Oh my God.
Number 3, A New Hope.
Great movie.
This is where the order gets really tough for me. Like 1 and 2 are pretty clear for me. I could go almost in any order from like 3 to 6 here. I have in order from 3, 4, 5, 6, A New Hope, Revenge of the Sith, The Force Awakens, and Rogue One. But on any given day, I could put those in basically any order. A New Hope, I mean, I do think that one of the weird things that's happened with Star Wars over the course of the decades is that we've slightly lost sight of the fact that A New Hope is one of the greatest achievements in recorded human history.
It's actually incredible to watch. Like we've both been watching all the movies. I've been like watching clips. I've watched the Battle of Yavin, like original sequence, like numerous times over the last 2 weeks. It's a freaking incredible achievement. That's another one where I can't imagine it being 1977.
Yeah.
And going to the movie theater.
And seeing that.
And just seeing like the opening crawl with the spaceship going over the top of the screen and then like the stormtroopers like bursting into the space. You'd be like, oh my God, what the fuck is this?
And, introducing Vader.
It's
as
amazing.
One of the seminal villains in culture history. There are plenty of things about A New Hope that I think you can easily have some fun with and poke fun at, and we will be doing that in time, but it's a historic achievement.
This is a diplomatic mission. Where's the ambassador?
Give Chewie his medal, though. I will say that. Number 4, Revenge of the Sith. I absolutely love this movie, and I'm not embarrassed to say
I think it's a good movie, but you love it a lot more than I do.
There are some things in it, as in all of the prequel movies, that are awful. It's just like unpalatable dreck. Yes, I concede that point. However, the stuff in it that's good is really, really good. A villain origin story is one of my favorite things in storytelling, period, and getting to see how Anakin becomes Vader. Every scene with Anakin and Palpatine is incredible. The evil head turn opera sequence is just fucking fabulous. And the Anakin Obi-Wan duel is probably one of my favorite things in the entire series to date. I just love it. I hate you!
I hate you!
You were my brother, Anakin. I loved you. I just love it. It's great. Next, The Force Awakens.
Just that little bit of fat coming out of his cheek and like on the grill. He's like,
it's
a Korean barbecue.
Tough look for my guy, Anakin Skywalker. 5, The Force Awakens. The kind of note-for-note remake, New Hope, Force Awakens aspects of this, I think don't bother me quite as much as they bother some other people. I loved getting introduced to Kylo. I love getting introduced to Rey. I don't really want to understate how much it meant to me, and I think a lot of other female Star Wars fans to see a female character take the lead like that. It was awesome. It's also when I met BB. And I mean, Hux, our dude, AI Ash, non-breathing fuckstick, won't quit. Welcome back. Next, Rogue One, for all the reasons you said. Just an incredible achievement to make something that immersive that we all knew going in was standalone, to simultaneously make something contained and finite that also connected to the wider universe. It's gorgeous. I can't wait for the Cassian show. 7, Return of the Jedi. There are things in that movie that are great, and there are things in that movie that are not, which is true for all of the Star Wars movies.
It's my favorite Palpatine also. Like, I just think that's ultimate Palpatine.
It's some top-notch Sheev.
It's unbelievable. Oh, I'm afraid it will be quite operational when your friends arrive.
Making operational like a 19-syllable word is just
stretch it out,
incredible.
Chewing the scenery,
incredible. I actually like the Ewoks. I love everything on Endor. It is a good movie that I enjoy. It just doesn't quite rise to the caliber. And also on the heels of Empire, you're always going to measure it against that. Next, Solo. Just a better movie than people think.
It really was better than you think.
More charming and entertaining than people think. I enjoyed it. I hope we get another one.
Then massive drop off.
Then head beyond the outer rim
to the unknown regions.
Phantom Menace at 9. I think Attack of the Clones is firmly in last place.
The love stuff is the courtship on Naboo is absolutely,
the dialogue is unforgivable.
Like if you bring that tape to like a CIA black site and force people to watch it, it's awful.
That dialogue is what Palpatine needed emergency powers to go to war against. Very rough. All right, again, we reserve the right to change our minds, but that's the order for now.
If you enjoyed this, why wouldn't you? Make sure you check out our full Binge Mode Star Wars podcast series, available wherever you listen to podcasts.